Dad was a sheep farmer. Property was at Mount Vernon, which is halfway between Melton Mowbray and Kempton. I attended the Kempton State School. We had a bus that used to come from Apsley and pick up the students on the way down. Mount Vernon House is a mile off the main road, so I used to get on the bike and ride down and leave the bike by an old tree near the road and then cross over the railway line and wait for the bus to arrive. I was 9 3/4 when I left Kempton School to come to Hutchins. Mum said I cried a lot because I didn't know anyone at all in those days. But as time went on, I got to know the boys and we all started to get on quite well. Because I was a boarder, food just arrived on the table and we just used to eat what was put in front of us. We didn't have very many boarders. We only had about 50 boarders, I think. Cuppy Stevens was my master at Hutchins, and Paul Radford was headmaster of Hutchins when I was there. We had very good teachers for the time, I would have thought. I used to always go home at weekends to the farm and do jobs there. We used to go to the Melton Mowbray Church. It's a weatherboard building. It's still there at this stage. When I left school, Dad thought perhaps I ought to have a job in town, and so I then started working for A.G. Webster and Sons. One of the most interesting jobs at Webster's was when I was office boy. The shipping department at the time had magazines that had to be circulated among the shippers around town. I enjoyed doing it because I got to learn places where to go and come down to the wharf area. It was a time when the port was a lot more busy than it is today. Ray Vincent wrote to me and asked me would I like to join the committee. The size of the committee has changed over time. We had perhaps 12 people on the committee. It sometimes has dropped down to about 6. When Ray Vincent lost his house in the 67 bushfires, we spent once a week going through electoral rolls to then put a list together of who were old boys. And that took nearly 6 months. In my opinion, Hutchins was one of the best schools in Australia, and we've had some wonderful pupils go through the school. The opportunities these days are far greater than when I left school. What I've learnt at school, it enabled me to appreciate things as I've got older.
Our mission at the Hutchins School is to nurture the character of boys who act with kindness, humility, respect and courage. Robert Dick left Hutchins in 1953 and has served on the Old Boys Committee since 1957. Robert is living a life of quiet purpose and selfless commitment. He is the epitome of the school's values.